Hey guys, welcome or welcome back. So happy to have you here with me today. Um, I've taken a little bit of time off. It's so funny, when I first started this channel, I was convinced that I was going to be doing a video a day just because I have a lot to say and it's not like I'm really doing any crazy editing or anything like that. And then life just happened. And it's not like life happened in the normal way that we usually mean it, like things were busy and I had stuff to do and things like that. Yes, that's part of it, but life happened in the way that it often does for me. And I'm not saying I'm alone in this, but just talking about my own experience, life happened in the sense that suddenly all of these issues were just like catapulted to the surface. And I have been sifting through them and working on them and dealing with them until it got to a point where I felt that I could come back and be on camera, be in front of an audience, regardless of how many people end up watching this. So I'm going to give you some insight into what those were. Maybe someone else is dealing with the same thing, or maybe it's just me taking advantage of this opportunity to talk things out. So the first thing that really kept me from coming on was really feeling my own isolation. We are in our 4th month of quarantine here in California. My human interaction is at an all-time low. Which is tough. It was pretty low before, not gonna lie. But if you think about it, I'm single. I live alone, so I don't have roommates. I don't get that kind of interaction. I do live in a busy apartment building, but most people are staying inside their units, so I may actually physically see and be in the same space with another person once a day, maybe. Some days I don't come into contact with another person at all. There are days where I really feel my isolation and my loneliness to the point where it turns into a depression of sorts, and I really can't even make myself leave my apartment. It's almost like it kicks up this really weird social anxiety. So like I said, I'm getting off track here. I'm single. I live alone. I have a very small group of friends who all have their own things going on, and so they don't necessarily check in on me all the time. And it's not their job to. I'm not saying that at all. But it did kind of hit me last week that because I'm having such infrequent interactions with people outside of work, that I could probably die in my apartment and nobody would know for at least a week. That's a pretty scary thought. Do I actually think I'm going to die in my apartment? No. Do I actually think I'm going to die anytime soon? No. I definitely am not concerned that that's actually going to be a possibility, or that possibility is actually going to be a reality, but it is a real possibility, right? Things like that do happen. So that was one thing, was just really feeling my isolation kept me from doing anything other than the bare minimum to get through the day, the bare minimum to survive. That's not really a space that I enjoy being in. I think most of us prefer to be in a space of feeling like we're thriving and we're growing and learning and changing and doing well, and we can see these things that we're trying to anchor into our life manifesting in our physical reality. But I've just been struggling with that a bit. Other things that I've been struggling with are really that I have put on quite a bit of weight throughout this pandemic. Whatever people think about that is entirely up to them. For me personally, I have struggled with my weight for a really long time. I am an emotional eater. And so when as I do right now, I feel a lot uncomfortable, or like I am just spiraling out of control. What I like to do is try to control other things, and usually the easiest thing to control is food. So I overeat or I undereat. Lately it's been overeating. And I think from March till now, so that's 4 months, I've probably put on about 15 pounds, and that does not feel good. Like physically, it doesn't feel good. I have no idea how tall you guys think I am, but I am 5'3.5". I am not a very tall person, and I have a relatively slender frame. So when I put on 5 pounds, it's noticeable. When I put on 10 pounds, it's really noticeable. And when I put on 15, I feel it. And believe me, right now, I feel that I am carrying around this like small duffel bag or small suitcase filled with clothes, or whatever analogy works for you. So isolation, the extra weight that I've put on, which I am planning to remedy by buying an elliptical soon. So that's probably going to live like right next to me. So you may actually see part of it in my videos going forward. Another thing I've been dealing with, which is just kind of wrapped up into both of those things and interwoven into everything, and I think this is probably the case for most people, if not everyone, is really feeling a lack of self-worth. Do I know what I'm talking about? Do I actually have a message to spread? Am I worthy of being the person who's spreading this message? The answer is yes to all of those things, but I definitely go through periods of time where I doubt myself heavily, because here I am talking about aligning yourself with your true voice, with your true self, and as you begin to align with who you really are, then the universe provides opportunities for you to continue aligning with yourself. And as you work on that more and more and more, the things you want in your life start falling into place, right? So something that I have always wanted in my life is a very real love story. That's something that has never been a part of my life. That's something that really was not modeled to me until I was about 15, I think. 14 or 15, the first time I really saw a couple who loved each other. And then I was 28, 29 before I met my best friend, who she and her husband have that kind of love, the kind where you appreciate and respect and trust your partner, where you grow with your partner. And I'm not saying that I want their relationship, because I don't. I want whatever my version of my love story is. But it's difficult to continue moving forward and to continue speaking your authentic truth and trying to align with it and trying to become the person you've always wanted to be, when it feels like you are doing this work and you've been doing this work for so long, and you're not necessarily seeing all of the results that you would hope to see manifest into your physical reality. Now, that's not to say that I haven't seen anything. I have seen a lot of things manifest into my physical reality that I've been working on. This is just one example that I happen to be using in particular, because it's a big one for me. I honestly do think that when that love story pops into place for me, I think that's when I really will feel that I've made it, in a way. Because here's this thing that I've been dreaming about for so long that has been evolving and growing and changing with me and with my own understanding of what love is and what a relationship is and what healthy is. But yeah, I think when that actually does pop into place is when I'm really going to feel more like I can breathe. Yeah, I don't know. And I honestly really do hate to be that stereotypical, like, oh, she's just a girl looking for the guy to save her and blah, blah, blah. No, believe me, that is not the situation here. I am fully capable of taking care of myself, and I have been, and I will continue to do so. This is not like, hey, I'm pumping the brakes on my life until I meet the guy, or hey, I'm going to meet the guy and then pump the brakes on my life. No, if anything, I actually expect that once I meet the guy, whenever that happens to be, I think my life is actually going to kick into high gear pretty quickly. That a lot of the other things that I've been waiting on to fall into place are all going to start doing that, just like dominoes, right? Like maybe he's not the first domino, maybe he's like the 10th domino, but when we get to him, it's like everything's just going to fall into place. That's what that was. But yeah, it's going back to kind of struggling with the self-worth thing. A lot of that is because I myself happen to be a very functional, logic-driven person, right? I want to see, feel, experience the tangible results of the things that I've been working on. And when I say working on, what I mean is that I have been doing a lot of inner work for the last 2.5 years, but really it's been the last 16 months that I said, fuck it, I'm going to work on myself, and it's not going to be because I'm waiting for a guy. It's not going to be because XYZ. The last 16 months was really where I committed to working on myself for myself because I wanted a better life. I still want a better life. I am very grateful for what I have. I'm very grateful for the opportunities I've had up to this point. But I also know that there's so much more out there waiting for me, and I'm just itching to see all of those beautiful things manifest into my physical reality in this life. And I'm actually going to cap it there today. Maybe what I'll do is a follow-up session or session video on my thoughts on the law of attraction, because manifestation is a really big thing in the spiritual community, maybe in all communities, I don't know. Manifestation is a really big thing in the spiritual community, and so is the law of attraction. And I have some very big issues with the law of attraction that I am going to share in my next video, because I think it's important to see another viewpoint, another side of it. So yeah, I'm going to cap this video here today. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Love having you guys here as always. Take care, and I will see you soon. Bye.